Esto es lo de... Es que no sé exactamente porque... De Idol. Me quedé así como... ¿Nani the fuck? Vi lo de que no pagaban. Sí, o sea, yo eso lo vi también, pero... No, esto es ahora... Es que lo subió ayer, Kio,
So today we're taking a look over at Idol Corp because they have gotten into a bit of trouble of not paying freelancers on time. As we...
¿Os habéis fijado que las dos polémicas que han salido de Idol han sido las mismas? De que supuestamente no paga el Donoton. El Donoton, ese, el Donoton y lo de los últimos meses.
We had this person by the name of Rosa tweeting out, "Hey everyone, I have some things to share about my experience working as a freelance mixer and audio engineer for the VTuber agency Idol Corp." And they linked to their Google Doc that goes over this situation. They said, "I've debated posting about this for quite a while, but it's gotten to the point where I don't think I have any other option. I would like to shed some light on my interactions as a freelance mixer and audio engineer working with the VTuber agency Idol Corp. I started working with Idol Corp in December of last year when I was invited to do mixing and SFX work for their Christmas voice packs. Over the course of the next few months, I did most of Idol's voice packs and even worked on some covers. Very often, these commissions would come in as rush projects, having sometimes less than 24 hours to be completed. For the Christmas VPs, I needed to do all of them on Christmas Eve and Christmas morning as I didn't receive the commission any sooner, and they needed to get them out mid-Christmas Day. I want to be clear and say that I never minded doing these rush jobs because I could usually fit them in with my schedule, and they never required an awful lot of work. I showed a lot of flexibility and always did my best to work fast and efficiently when they needed me. This willingness to work fast in a time of need is important because I received the exact opposite from them. On 4 separate occasions in the span of 6 months, I did not receive payment on time, sometimes even having to wait 3 additional weeks before finally being paid for my work. Payments only go out once a month, meaning more than half of my invoices weren't paid on time. I always made sure to send my invoices on time, sent reminders when they needed to be paid, and made them as simple to review as possible. However, invoices repeatedly
También pasó en diciembre. Diciembre estuvo pesado. Sí, el Donoton fue en diciembre, a finales de diciembre. Sí, por lo que sea tuvieron retrasos en los pagos, pero yo qué sé, si tienen algún retraso o lo que sea, ¿por qué no lo avisan? Pues sí es verdad que depende del método que use. Si es, por ejemplo, Twitch, si tú das tus datos bancarios para que te paguen por el banco, tardas 2 semanas. Como mucho también, ¿no? Entiendo que a lo mejor no haya sido por un movimiento que... O sea, mi punto, que entiendo que no ha tardado porque haya sido por, yo que sé, por algún movimiento bancario, ¿no? O lo que sea que tiene que reflejarse y entonces, claro, es que se tardaron más de 2 semanas.
Went unpaid or were even lost entirely, causing me lots of headaches and having to chase them up. I have still yet to be paid for my work I did for them on June 13th at time of writing. At the end of June, an announcement was made that the next round of payments was starting and we were asked to resend links to our invoices to make sure they didn't miss any. 3 weeks later, no invoices have been paid so far. Normally, I'm pretty flexible with this kind of stuff. The previous 3 times I was annoyed that I was being paid late, but I know that the VTuber agency can't be easy to run, and so I let them take.
Pues yo no soy flexible, en plan, yo no soy flexible con los pagos, me pagas por adelantado y luego te hago el trabajo. Lo siento, tío, en plan, es que al final, con lo de las comisiones, o sea, al final con comisiones y con weas de esas, te quieren ver la cara, ¿eh?
Their time. Typically, when I reached out about unpaid invoices, they were always paid within the next 48 hours. This time is different though. I have reached out on multiple separate occasions about payments this month, and all I've gotten back is a quote-unquote "we're working on it." As some of you may know, I have just moved countries. I naturally made a lot of expenses in doing so, and not receiving payments for work I did leading up to the move, which I had to do to cover all my expenses, has really thrown a wrench in everything. As a result, I reached out to other freelancers who have worked/are working for Idol to ask about whether they were being paid, and it seems I'm not alone. There are at least a dozen freelancers who have done work for Idol in June and have yet to be paid at the time of writing. The commissions range from simple voice packs to art and video editing to mixing work for music, all of them unpaid for. I am lucky that my invoice isn't as big as those of other creators, but the combined total between all artists is large. Now, I want to be extremely clear that this is not the fault of the talents or the...
Pero, a ver, Pero ¿por qué la queja? O sea, porque por lo que estoy viendo, o sea, por lo que está diciendo y todo, ¿no? Se tardaron, ¿vale? Pero le pagaron. Porque, claro, yo entiendo que la chica se queje si no le han pagado. Porque está ahora culpando a los talentos, está culpando a los managers y tal, pero le pagaron.
Managers I have been speaking to. The talents are some of the loveliest people I've ever worked with, and some of them have even reached out to me to make sure I was being paid enough. They are the reason I've continued to work with this agency despite the issues I've had, because at the end of the day, I just want to work on cool things with cool people. Please don't send any hate to the idol girls. The managers I have been speaking to have also been incredibly understanding, and I believe they are not at fault. They simply don't have the ability to do anything else but reach out to the people above them on my behalf, which they have consistently done immediately. I am out of options. Reaching out to individual managers hasn't worked. Reaching out to the talents I have worked with hasn't worked. Posting about it in the channel all other freelancers have access to hasn't worked. This is my last resort. Artists and freelancers are a giant part of the VTuber community. These artists have visibly been respected less and less over the years, and it's time for agencies and larger creators to stop taking advantage of us. Without our creativity, they could not exist. I am posting this simply to ask whoever in Idol is the end responsible for the payments of artists, talent, and staff to please do their job and communicate with us. When you run a large business with lots of staff and freelancers working for you, you are directly responsible for the livelihoods of every single one of those people. And acting with this amount of negligence can and will have significant.
O sea, que todavía no le han pagado. Pues está diciendo que se comunicó con un montón de... O sea, con los managers, con algunos talentos y no recibió respuesta. Entonces no le han pagado, ¿no? Porque si le pagaron al final, güey, ¿qué hacemos? A ver, pues si no le han pagado, yo lo entiendo, ¿eh?
Negative impacts on many of them. In their edit, they said they would like to clarify that payments were originally promised bi-monthly, once on the 10th and once on the 30th. During which the invoices of the previous periods are supposed to be paid. Nowhere do they state that payments will be made an entire month later, and on the occasions where I was paid on time, it was at the start of the month immediately after the invoice was sent, not a full month later. Now in their second edit, they did say that management reached out to them as soon as this post blew up, and they have just now been paid for their work. Quote, however, as you can see in the Twitter post and the quote retweets, and also in DMs directly to them, there are still a lot of artists who dealt with / are dealing with these issues, and for that reason, they're not going to be deleting this post. And we're actually going to read some more issues that have been going on inside of Idol, some people having the exact same experience as this person. As last month, we actually had someone make a post about Idol Corp and how they haven't been paid at that time. However, it has been deleted, as they said Aviel, the owner of Idol Corp, has politely requested that I remove the post as he believes it is misrepresentative. He assures me that it is being fixed quote-unquote behind the scenes. I will hold him to that. We also had someone quote retweeting Rosa's tweet with their own experience, saying, I can vouch for the claims made here.
Desde enero de 2023. Puedo decir que esto me ha pasado también desde el día 1. Hostia. Tienen un problema. Esta gente tiene un problemilla, con los pagos atrasados.
Having worked with the agency since January of 2023, I can say that this has been an issue since day one for me too. The constant delays in payments, management being silent unless called out, it's all too familiar to me. They said back in mid-2023, I, much like Rosa, plan to confront Idol management on this matter, contacting other editors, collecting receipts, and piecing everything together. I only stopped because Aviel, the CEO, directly contacted me to address this issue. Hell, he even made good on his promises, and for a time communication and payment went smoothly, at least for me. However, it's been over a year since then. The issues have returned and persisted for months now, which is affecting everyone. I'd prefer not to make my receipts public as they don't just affect Idol, but the editors and talents present in them as well, the latter two being innocent. But if Idol continues to neglect this issue, I don't see any other way of getting their attention. This has to stop. And so Idol did respond to Rosa's document and tweet they made. Idol Corp said, we apologize for the poor experience and the stress it has caused. We are committed to improving and will address this in an upcoming announcement. In the meantime, if anyone has an unpaid invoice, please contact payments@idol-company.com and we will handle it as soon as possible. Now, many people have pointed out that this was posted on July 19th and it is now currently July 24th, and they have not made any new announcement about this at all.
O sea, claro, este tuit es del 19. Y todavía no han hecho nada. Que la segunda persona que respondió trabajó con ellos desde enero del 23. Tu tema. No, sí, o sea, esta mierda está dura, Joder, tío.
On their Twitter account. So hopefully Idle does address this soon and actually makes an announcement as to what's been happening and why they aren't paying people on time. But as of right now, again, they have not made any such announcement. However, we did have Rin Penrose of Idle Corp tweeting out and quote retweeting Idle's response saying, hey, if we've worked together in the past and you've had any unresolved issues concerning payment, DM me here or Discord and I'll bring it up to the guys trying to sort everything. It's the least I can do. I can't guarantee anything. I didn't actually run this by staff before posting, but it's worth a shot. Without the work of our freelancers, I'd be out several tens of millions of views, so I want to make sure you guys get to benefit from your work as well. There were some others that have shared their experience as well, such as this person going by the name of Sigma, saying, in case you're concerned, I've been paid for all of my work on the 3D models and merch. It did understandably take a bit due to everything going on at the time. The talents are some of the sweetest people I've worked with and absolutely would work with again. Another person by the name of Tomsy said, I don't normally talk about stuff like this, but I got what I thought was a big break, and I was so excited to get to work with Idle as there are some talents in there who I loved watching and really wanted to get to work with, most notably Juna and Kai. It was a mess. I signed NDAs and had no guaranteed work. It was in a large Discord and there would be pings in the Discord when a short became available, and it was just a first come first served basis. And if you didn't open Discord within a few seconds and click claim, you wouldn't get the work. This meant you couldn't even ask for information about the job. It would just say who it's with and if it's a short or video, etc. So information was super sparse. You wouldn't know VOD length. Is it scripted or a clip short? Is it something that needs to be lightly edited or heavily edited, etc.? Also, not to mention, since time zones exist, certain people would be at a massive disadvantage to this. Half of the time, when I was asked who to talk about with these issues, it changed every time, as if the staff were swapping all around all of the time. I love the talents at Idle, and I think they...
Como si el personal se estuviera intercambiando todo el tiempo. Ostras, ¿y habrán dicho algo los de Idle?
are amazing, but the experience with Idle was really disheartening for me. Thankfully, I've had some good experiences with corporate companies since then, but I really hope they get it sorted, as I think the talents deserve so much. I just want to reinstate this was nothing caused by the talents and might have just been my experience being in the GMT/BST time zone, and I really hope it has improved, as the talents in Idle are amazing and deserve so much success. So yep, that's the situation going on with Idle right now. Hopefully they do make a response soon. If they do, I will of course let you all know. But that's all for me, guys.
Será. Pues que estuvo potente la wea, La gerencia, esto es del mismo día, la gerencia se comunicó conmigo poco después de que esta publicación explotara y ahora me pagaron por mi trabajo. Sin embargo, como puedes ver en este hilo, en lo citado y también en los mensajes directos que me enviaron directamente, todavía hay muchos artistas que están lidiando con estos problemas. O sea, todavía hay artistas a los que no han pagado. Por lo tanto, no eliminaré esta publicación y seguiré pidiendo compartirla, ya que espero que esto le dé a otros artistas y freelancers valor para ordenar sus pagos y obligar a Idol a asegurarse de que esto nunca vuelva a suceder. Mira, aquí hay una persona que dice ser happy ending para la minita, para el resto no tanto. Como uno de los editores de Idol, enfatizo fuertemente con la creciente necesidad de mejoras rápidas en la comunicación, la puntualidad y la claridad dentro de la agencia. Aunque se han hecho esfuerzos para mejorar otros aspectos, es evidente que queda mucho trabajo por hacer. Hombre, sí, está bien que deje el hilo, pero si todavía hay gente que no le han pagado. Pero vamos, yo ya te digo. Yo pido el pago por adelantado. Yo siempre pedía el pago por adelantado. O sea, no más.